Hello everyone, it is Joe here from Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, including the stuff from Evolving Skies, make sure you go ahead and check out the Poketown store. You can get a 5% discount on your order using that code Omnipoke. For today's video, we are going to be looking at Leafeon VMAX alongside Inteleon. It's just another Inteleon-based VMAX deck, but Leafeon has a lot of good going for it that really allows it to be viable in the format right now, especially because Single Strike is starting to have a big uptick in the format. In some of the largest tournaments we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, it's been in the top 3 of popularity. And that's something that Leafeon VMAX can really feast on, because usually they are very limited in their number of switching outs, which is really good for Grass Knot, where we're trying to increase that retreat cost, make it awkward for them to build up new attackers, that sort of thing, because we can hit them with Galar Mines and Tool Jammers. And of course we hit the Umbreon part of their deck for weakness, which makes it very unusable, and it means they have to try and chain either 2 prizes, the Urshifu Vs, which we can just one-shot turn by turn easily with Grass Knot and the help of the Stadium, or they're forced into the VMAX. They can take big one-hit KOs, but it's a big reload option from that point on. So I think we're pretty favored into Single Strike right now, which is one of the most popular decks, and we have answers for the other archetypes in the format as well. So in general, yeah, it seems pretty solid. There's a lot to like here. Not least is that the regular V has that Greening Cells ability, allowing you to search your deck for a grass and attach it to one of your Pokemon, and then your turn does end, of course. So this is only really an early game option, but still fantastic for guaranteeing energy drops. If you already have energy in hand, it means you can spread them onto 2 different Leafeons. If you're going second, for example, because then you're protected around boss's orders for aggressive archetypes. Or if you're going first, you can shove 2 into the active or whatever, just so that you're ready for the following turn. So that's really the idea that we have going here. So yeah, Leafeon very solid in that regard. The VMAX has a couple great attacks. Grass Knot is the main draw towards the Leafeon. You do 60 times the retreat cost in your opponent's active Pokemon. So there's a lot of VMAX Pokemon out there with 2 retreat costs. There are a few with 3. Dragapult only has 1, which is awkward. It does mean that we need to dig deep for Galar Mines. And the Stadium War is important for this archetype as a big part of our damage output, as we are increasing that retreat cost. But also it's going to help us just throughout. Very important against things like Sylveon, where they can remove their retreat cost on their rapid strikers. So you got to maximize copies of these mines to really make the most out of them. And usually adding 2 retreat costs allows us to reach 1-hit KO range into the majority of V Pokemon. The resistance from a Zacian puts it just out of range, but that's why we have Inteleon in here to increase that damage output. And in general, we can hit around that sort of 240 mark. So if we get a couple quick shootings in the mix as well, we can start using pings over a number of turns to pile into VMAXs to do much more reasonable damage output. So that's one of the main reasons why we like this quick shooting in here. Gives us a much better time through Zacians and Zamazentas. Of course, we play Phoebe in here as well to get through that Zama. These pings do help out a lot, and at the same time, it's going to help pile into VMAXs if we are able to build towards them using the Drizziles as our early game engine for the most part. We have a Crobat in here as well, slightly different to most other Intel builds because they're usually path-based, but we have the extra sort of late-game push of Quick Ball if need be, and just gives us that little bit more consistency. But the rest of the engine is very similar to most Intel builds, maximizing our ball search outs here. We've got 1 Scoop Up Net, which can be used to double dip on things like the Shady Dealings of your Sword and Shield Inteleon, or get yourself a little bit of extra damage with quick shooting, as well as a switch out here, or a pivot option, which is pretty good. We are playing that Pal Pad, mostly because we have this Phoebe, but it also allows us to be that little bit greedier on supporters when you have Shady Dealings to pick the right ones at the right times. It means that we can get back, you know, 3rd copy of Boss, 3rd copy of, 4th copy of Marnie in these sorts of situations with that Pal Pad. So it's a decent card to see throughout the game, regardless of this Phoebe or not. But having it in here gives us great peace of mind against Decidueye players and Zacian Zamazenta players, which are still coming out in their droves right now. Otherwise, we have the Galar Mine and Tool Jammer combo. Jammer obviously important to remove Air Balloon's effect so that we are hitting into things for maximum damage. Captures is one of the main selling points of the Leafeon alongside the ability of the V. The fact that we have colorless in our attack cost does allow us to get more Sobbles into play early for good consistency, or just multiple Leafeon if need be. If you've started a Sobble, something like that, and not much else, you can at the very least go ahead, grab a Leafeon and end on a Greening Cells if you want to. So that's always really nice. And then we have the 5 Grass alongside the E-Search. Should be plenty throughout the game. Another thing I did just want to mention was Max Leaf is actually also pretty good. The 170 heal 30 is relevant, definitely against the low damage output builds of Dragapult and Jolteon right now. This healing is actually like pretty solid, so another thing that I just wanted to touch on there. But yeah, in general, build up to your VMAX, try and disrupt with your Galar Mines. You can make panic boss plays alongside mine and that sort of thing if need be. So yeah, I think it's got a lot going for it. I think its type coverage might be turning the dial that little bit towards being a decent meta position right now for Leafeon. So we'll test that theory with some games today. And we're actually up against one of my friends in our first game. We're up against Jake. So this should be an interesting one. We're going to get to go first here. We have a decent start. We are having to attach to Sobble here, but it's by no means bad news for us. We have easy access to the Leafeon, and then we can end on a Greening Cells. We'll also get the benefit of mulligans here. Looks like we might be up against a Jolteon Inteleon build. So going first is going to be pretty nice. Yep, we see a Sobble from them. We're just going to grab one of our own. We have all of our quick shooters. We don't have Sword and Shield Inteleon, definitely important to note. It means when you're doing that chain of evolving up into Drizzile, you usually leave one open for Drizziles later down the line. We'll certainly end on a Greening Cells here. The E-Search is in deck. The Net is here as well, so I could do Net if I wanted to keep Switch outs, which is pretty good. But I'll be attaching active anyway, so I don't really need that just yet. Okay, how many mines? All 4 Galar Mines, because they're going to be playing a high count of Path, no doubt. So we will go ahead, grab our Leaf, end on a... I don't mind Tool Jamming, right? Tool Jammer's fine. So Leafeon has a natural free retreat, which is a little bit awkward. It does hurt our damage output, but naturally we want to get towards our 170 heal 30 attack anyway, so something that we're like kind of okay with. One thing that is slightly awkward is they're likely playing Cheryl, and sometimes they play Recovery for the Cheryl as well. So we'll see how that comes into play. They're just going to keep calling, so their hand is not strong. They're just going to grab some Sobs. Okay. I think second Leaf is fine. I think I want to Marnie first. I mean, their hand is bad. Am I even meant to Marnie? It feels really weird getting rid of Intels, though. If I Shady Dealing for Scoop Up Net here, it gives me that switch option, and then I can dip again to hit... Oh, no, it's not great. Let's deal first, then. And I think I should just take the E-Search. See, Marnie's just good tempo. I'm always paranoid of missing my outs. I have so many outs towards both, to be honest, but at the very least I want to end on being ahead of attachments if I'm going to miss attacking, you know. Especially when I want to weave the 170 into the mix. So we have a couple options. Do I want to... Crobat is the main question mark. I definitely don't want to grab a Drizzile here because we don't have the Sword and Shield Inteleon. I don't think I'm forced to Crobat. And I want to be the second person to put Stadium into play, so I think we just hold everything. Grass Knot is getting a KO with the 1 retreat of the Sobble, so we'll just take the 1. Leafeon's ready to start hitting with Max Leaf as well in the active right now for those heals, which is going to be good into the Jolts. It's one of those things where it's kind of counterintuitive when you see your opponent attach and just keep calling, but their hand size was still like large, and a lot of the time they can't do anything because they can't evolve, right? So as soon as they get the multiple Sobble down, they're probably popping off after that point. And looks like they still don't have much tempo going for them here. So I can push to try and grab Bat towards a Max Leaf for 170. Or I can try and hit him for the 120 this turn. 120, 170 is a really bad number, though. So I want a 170, 170 if I can. Or the other option is just hit through the active, attach bench, keep my options open everywhere. I'm always evolving up. The energy is the choice. I don't know. I still don't need to play a Galar Mine if I'm just swinging active. So I think I should just keep options open, attach bench, swing active, keep everything open. Okay, fine. Unless I want to start pinging with Inteleons as well. That's the other option. I could try and evolve and start getting pings down. No, I don't think it's super relevant just yet. Especially because Jolteon is often a Cheryl-based deck, so they can keep us out of our range if I overcommit. Research off prizes, not bad at all. It means I'm not locked into the Crobat, which is easy prizes for the spread player. So, pretty happy to see that. They weren't able to evolve any Drizziles last turn, which means there's no intel pings from them. There could still easily be a Zigzag. Oh, but yeah, okay, he is just drawing bad by the looks of things. We're just going to Max Leaf. Okay. Okay. So yeah. That's a pretty dead draw then. Okay. Let's get into another game. I think Jolteon does have the tools to be an awkward matchup for sure. The inherent free retreat forces us towards that 3 energy attack. And the targeting down of our Inteleon engine is also that little bit awkward. So I think potentially the likes of Jolteon and the likes of Dragapult are keeping Leafeon, in check right now, stopping it from being the best deck in the game, or keeping it probably just outside that top 5, I would say, right now, the Leafeon. Dragapult a little bit less so because they don't play Cheryl. But still similar in terms of how they attack your engine and Marnie you and that sort of thing. We are going to get to go first again here, which is really nice for any evolving deck, obviously. We start off with Leafeon Energy Greening Cells. It's going to be an awkward hand to research away if we have to. Love to find any search option for Sob. That would be good. Hey. Now our hand is insane. Looks like we prized 2 Sobble as well. Gross. We prized 2 Sobble, 1 quick shooting. 2 quick ball as well, so that was a really fortunate top deck. And an energy. Energy, quick. Another quick. And 2 Sobble. Okay. Mincino could be a lot of things. Rapid Strike Malamar's the first thing that comes to mind when I see Mincino. But it's, you know, an engine card, so it could be all sorts. No info just yet. Ah, it's a Cincino Urshi. Okay. I'm gonna see a Marnie. Don't necessarily hate it. I was basically locked into a deal for VMAX and just rip a research, but so we have the potential to boss go Crobat digging for a KO on him. I don't hate it. We can see a lot of cards here. I'm never playing the Switch, so just in case. Or do I want a proactive boss for the extra card? I think I'm going to be proactive bossing here. Because even getting a chunk on him with the VMAX would be fine. And I'm so likely to hit VMAX from the draws and potential Drizziles. And if we get the KO, we just win on the spot. So not great going, actually. We are just going to be hitting with the VMAX here. Not quite the nuts. We need the stadium to get there. But we can freely attach an extra energy down here. And we can get some good prep damage on this Urshifu, forcing him into likely either 100 Furious Blows as a 2-prizer or that Rapid Flow into Drizzile Crobat probably. They do straight away evolve into that VMAX. They can start grabbing some Cincinos. I imagine a Cincino list might be playing Cheryl, so we have to bear that in mind. They could also easily be playing Rapid Strike, Tower of Water. They're gonna Marnie us, and then they're gonna start using Make Do. We're basically locked into a Grass Knot next turn. Need to find Galar Mine if we can. Have to imagine he'll take out Drizzile and pepper up Crobat, but when you don't play Inteleon, maybe it's not correct to touch the Crobat. Maybe he's looking to boss that later as part of his map. It's hard to say. Don't know the list so well as an Inteleon build where it's more obvious. Okay, he's going to go active and hit here. That's reasonable enough. So Jammer's not too shabby. The Leafeon's going to be sticking around, so that's fine. We can grab our VMAX. Can evolve. Do I want this extra Sobble? His prize map probably won't involve this Sob, because he's at 5. Stadium is a huge hit here. Ooh, Stadium is a huge whiff here, I should have said. If I go to the 170 with the Leaf, the heal of 50... Again, the heal of 30 doesn't seem as relevant now that he's... Well, he'd still just be in range of another attack. And I'm nowhere near quick shooting. So I'm probably attaching bench. I want to thin this deck of Leafeons, I think. He's always bossing Crobat. He's never going any other route, right? Just want to take this out of the deck. Thinking about proactively taking a Drizzile out, but if I'm getting Marnied, I want to draw back into Drizz. So let's just hit for 120 again. Big shame there, big whiff. You know, you miss your 4 of, then you miss 2 Incense and 3 other Drizzile to try and get you there. It's a lot of outs. And all of... oh, sorry, Drizzile wasn't an out. It was just the Mines here, because he took the KO last turn. But still. It's a 4 of. Alright, they're going to grab more Cinccino's. So I'm going to really start feeling bad if they actually pull off a Cheryl play this turn. And I have to imagine that's one of the only benefits of playing a Cinccino engine. Is that you draw enough cards to try and make those greedy supporters work. They're actually going to net for a couple more cards by the looks of things. So they're really pushing for a play here. Yep, they are going to be Cheryl gamers. And they can swing into us. Okay. So let's grab that card we should have grabbed last turn. Or we should have drawn last turn. I guess it's more accurate. So we're at 40. Will he ever go for an energy assist play? It kind of makes me have boss, so I kind of like healing out of that range. I'm so many attachments ahead that I feel I can do this anyway. Yeah, it seems about right. Playing out of Cinccino range. Because like he could just Cheryl again, retreat, and energy assist for a KO, and that would be super gross to deal with. I at least want him spending his Rapid Strike energies if he's Cheryling. I see a Bird Keeper. I'm gonna start making do again, growing that hand size that little bit. Incense just to burn some cards. Yeah, they don't need those extra Urshis at this point. Gonna toss some more Urshi pieces. Pump Kabooing away Galar Mine. Pretty interesting. They find Pump Kaboo important enough to play. Looking like we are in bad shape though, right? Because we're just Crobat getting bossed away from losing. I can't really stop that in many ways. And we're still many attacks away. Especially if I choose not to take a KO this turn. I can either... So I can Shady Deal for the boss. And take a KO here. Don't see many other options. If I attack active, I'm just walking into the saddest Cheryl ever. But he's, I mean, boss is game for him anyway, right? So maybe I should just be playing towards Marnie and hit. Because his hand size is too gross for me to even fathom. Yeah, this is fine. Have to at least try and not lose next turn, I guess. He can access a lot of cards, though. That should basically always be game. Really rough that we just missed Galar Mine on the big research dig turn. It just brought him literally like 2 turns back for free. So it feels like we got rolled like pretty hard there. But the game is a completely different story if we take the KO. It forces more Urshifu V into play as well as other boss targets like later down the line. It basically spiraled out of control after that turn, went haywire. They're probably playing like 2 boss, you'd think. They don't even need boss. They could energy. Oh no, they'd still need the boss. But they don't need switch outs. They just need boss energy. Or boss switch out. One of those 2 things. I wonder why they play Pumpkaboo though. Because they're not really like, what are they afraid of? Maybe they don't want to see what they called crystal caves. Possibly. Okay, so no boss. We're actually alive, which is miraculous. Right. So now are we praying that it's in their bottom 2 cards of their deck for win and hit through the active? I can't put him on a 2-turn clock. So we're just saying they're in the bottom 2. I guess. Can't believe they're in his bottom 2. That is so unlucky. I'd be fuming if I was him. Guess I'll continue to thin as much as possible. Would be nice to draw into boss's orders. Yeah, no surprise there. There we go. It's weird that he well played us. So it's like I guess he knew he had access to every card in his deck, and then the boss just happened to be the draw for turn, but he like couldn't miss, I guess, was why he... Because otherwise he would have had game the turn before. Oh, he drew off the Bird Keeper. Right. That's what happened. Forgot that he was drawing more cards that turn after the Cinccino's. But that was like a really bad beat, and we kind of knew we were dead. But that's after like some big whiff. 120 isn't a high starting point for the Leafeon. Again, we get to go first here. We have a decent hand, actually. Quite an aggressive hand. Aggressive hand getting potentially more aggressive. I'll hold E-Search, actually. I was thinking of burning it and Crobatting now, but I can just get more cards and more value next turn, and it plays better into Path to actually win the Stadium War. Prizing Sobbles again. You hate to see that. Okay. We're eyeing up a juicy KO on a Zigzagoon. Well, we had the answer to the path, just not the Marnie path. But their hand is pretty bad so far. Hammer go Burr. Cells is a good defense against Crushings. It's a very good draw for us. Do I want to give him more cards? How lucky do you think he got off the Marnie, boys? I don't need anything this turn. I think we just hit and say, if you completely high-rolled your Marnie, good for you, bud. And if not, we're going to do you in. Yeah, he's panic. Panic bossing. Okay. I guess that makes it a good time to get Sobble down before he's actually VMAX doing stuff. We'll tell him he doesn't have it. You don't have it. Nice, he didn't actually have it. Could have researched there. I don't think there's a huge need for it. I'll keep the option open with Drizzile. Sometimes Marnie bricks them too. Okay. I guess it's time for more games. I hope everyone else is grinding to the end of the ladder and spending as many tickets as possible as well. For the new TCG Live, of course. You have time, you have a month. No, there's no rush, but well, you have 11 days to get these free packs and the boss's orders, but for the tournament tickets, take them day by day. I've been trying to get like 4 or 5 tournaments done a day just to whittle away at my boosters because this demo ain't lasting forever. I'm having to go back to my old account and I'm back on the grind, so let's get our last game in for the day with old Leafeon. It's not a bad going second hand. I think I want to leave the Sob and decide on the Crobat after my draw. Moltres, could be Sylveon, could be Urshifu, could be Eternatus. Imagine. We'll have to see. Okay. Air Balloon is looking, well, Fighting Energy looking like it's more of a Moltres Urshifu rather than a Sylveon combo deck. Yep, looking like it's going to be Urshifu focused. They're digging deep this turn. They're going for it. Seems to have paid off. Nice. Yeah, okay, I think we're just going to Marnie here. I'd definitely like to get Sobs down if I can. Maybe the player's just to actually not, but I get the option for quick ball and capture. So I could go Sob, let him KO 2, and there's still the 1 remaining for him to deal with, plus a VMAX. Didn't hit any Tool Jammer or Stadium, which is kind of frustrating. The boss is always going. It's just whether I want to make another Leaf and be safe, or I go Sob, capture Sob, just so I have 1 potential deal. I think I want the deal. You either put them down as 1 or 3. You never put them down as 2, because it's just food for the Urshifu, right? Now, we're still feeding him, but we're getting the value. Or some value. Few bits of good news. Moltres is weak to grass. So even with that air balloon, we could Stadium and take a 1-hit KO on it. So it's less of a valid option. And this is far less likely to playing Cheryl than the Cincino build that we just came up against. We're going to see a shitty deal from them. They're just going to grow their Drizzile army. Let's see if we're going to see Supporter or we're going to see the guaranteed VMAX is also a pretty solid move here. Just going to be the research. Okay. They're first to put Stadium into play as well, which is nice for us. In terms of winning that battle. Let's see. They get the free Dire Flame Wings. They are able to grab VMAX, which means they're forced into Rapid Flow, right? Because they retreated first. But I think a Rapid Flow looks pretty good here. Why did he choose active? Oh, I get they do have free retreat with the Stadium. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Right. I think I should be evolving up while I can. We'll start chaining these. I think VMAX is just safe here. It's one of those things where I have way more outs towards VMAX. I have 6 energy drop hits, 7 with the E-Search. I have 5 with the Leafeon, and only like 4. I have to like raw hit the Galar Mine, but I could always just manually attach active and do the heal play, which I think is strongest anyway. So I'm just going to grab VMAX here. The 7 outs to hit energy off the research. Don't let me down. And obviously we can heal ourselves out of the Moltres range. It wasn't actually 7 ounce because it's only the 4 ounce. So that was actually pretty fortunate. I forgot that captures are not live because we captured on 1. I want to do this anyway. But let's heal. It forces switch card, turn attachment, discard of dark, and double ping intel, which is a lot, even with a large hand size. Let's see what our opponent's thinking about right now. What their best option is. Rope is spicy. It's feed the 1, I think. Because I can always scoop up net the Drizzile. So it could be a 0 prize turn, basically, for him. There is the wings. See the ping onto our VMAX. Seems good. E-Search gets them attacking this turn. With the Heart Gold Soul Silver energies that we won't be seeing ever again. Say it ain't so. They're kind of agonizing over their decision here. Seems like a fairly routine attack with Moltres play. They're going to telescopic up, maybe playing around Marnie at this point. Which is very reasonable. But it looks like we're going to be doing straightforward damage for a lot of this game. Certainly need to be netting this chap. We can incense for Big Shady, grab the net and like a research or a Marnie. There are quite a number of supporters down, especially for Urshifu. They normally have quite a low count. I wonder what the debate is here. Okay, energy finally comes up. They do go Aura Burn. I guess they're thinking of their map, because I can heal again and take the 2 prizes. I think we're slightly ahead. I am worried about potential heals from him. I am worried about us having to find boss without any intels to help us get there. Those are the concerns. Oh, we prize Scoop Up Net? Well, it's not a huge problem this turn, but it will end up being a problem. So I'd really like to take those off prizes. Or I just double down and think I can race him. I have 1 attack, 2 attack, and like attack on any of these to win. So I can win in 3 turns. He has to use Gale Thrust next turn. He can Gale Thrust for up to 190 with the pings. That's not going to KO, so that's 1 turn. But then 2 turns kills us here. So I definitely shouldn't put down more Sobs. Okay, so we're doing this. We're doing this. I think I want to go Marnie Pal Pad. Pal Pad back in the supporters, because I'm panicking that we won't have anything to work with. Yeah, you know when I said I was panicking we won't have anything to work with? Ah, yes. Remember those fears I had. Just want to take it out of the deck to improve our top decks. It may also incentivize a Marnie from him, which I definitely appreciate. Net? Okay, support is very good. Okay, they're 2 pretty good prizes, to be fair. We can't be too mad. But he can set up some spicy net plays. Some spicy 4 prize turns. We'll see how the Marnie's done him. And the Galar Mine potentially being a thorn in the side here. Opponent definitely has taken their time with this. They're going to go into that Intel. Obviously, it's a rapid striker, so if they find tower, they can bounce. Gain free retreat so they can Gale Thrust. I imagine he wants to VMAX this. Okay, we are going to see the Shade. So it's going to be a pretty strong turn from them, I would imagine. But at the moment, the Max Leaf heals have been huge. Pushing us out of range and out of range again, basically. They have Raihan, so they can get the big rapid flow this turn. It won't be game. But I imagine he quick shoots one of them. Like, probably quick shoots here. Hits the 120 here. Puts it a ping away. And he's actually putting it onto the damaged Ursh. So I guess he's planning another Raihan play. He's trying to chain Raihan into me to beat me. That looks like what he's trying to set up for win, right? Man, if we didn't have net prized, we would just body him with his path. Path of his prize path, I should say. Oh, he's spreading and switching and still hitting with Gale Thrust. Okay, so he's having an option on each. Okay. Well, I can't hand disrupt him in any way. Unless I'm pushing for Marnie. Like, I could bench, quick ball, try and bat towards Marnie. There's only one in the deck. Sounds kind of stupid. Kind of folly. What are my other plays, though? If I work towards boss, I can boss the quick shooting, and then he can't KO. Yeah, that's the best thing to push towards. Right. Yeah, we got to push towards boss. Bench, bat. Then I lose to him bosses ordering up the Crobat of mine, because he can take the 5 prize KO. But this has to be done, right? I can't play around energy boss. And we need to hit this boss. It's a low odds hit. There's only 2 in the deck. Yeah. So now it's down to how good is his low hand size. Is it going to be enough to get there? We'll take our prizes. But I think that should be game for him, as long as he's prepped for it with the right hand last turn. There's our Scoop Up Net. Yep. That's unfortunate. One of those things. Because we basically, we can't lose as long as we can pick up that guy. And we plan to pick up the guy, like midway through the game. But there we go, a spicy 4 prize turn. Actually, a few Urshifus on the ladder, coming back in popularity. Pretty ugly for us, actually, the Urshifu matchups. Didn't face any single strikers, which is what we're trying to target as the deck. We didn't see much quick shooting action either. Basically because we were starved of the Sobbles, right? Sometimes because we were prizing 2 of them. Sometimes, well, 2 of the times we were up against Urshifu. There will be games where the quick shooting is super relevant for us for stealing prizes here and there. But yeah, that's Leafeon. It's a shame we didn't run into more typical, like the top 5 decks sort of thing. We faced a Jolteon that bricked, a Dragapult that bricked, I guess, and then the 2 Urshifus were the longer games, where we were kind of backed against the wall a couple times. I think that second time we were very much in control of the game. We just weren't able to piece together an important card, I guess you could say, in the matchup. And even then, we had a panic dig for boss, but it just wasn't going to get the job done. Regardless, let me know what you think about Leafeon. Does it have enough to, it's certainly a top 10 deck in the game right now. Does it have enough to push towards top 5? And how do you feel about it going forward? Do you think it's just meta dependent, or is it just a little bit too weak with so many other decks preying on the Inteleon engine? Let me know your thoughts down below. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with another video, so cheers.